dug that.
For sure. Yeah, I dug that too. The banter. Friggin', what I really liked about, when freaking, Superior Spider-Man shows up, is that right away Peter tries to fight him.
Yeah.
You know.
He's like, oh, you're a bad guy.
Yeah. Automatically.
You've got the same things as him. Extendable arms.
Right.
Extendable arms equals bad. I just fought a bad extendable arm guy.
And my notes were super limited on this. I had like Earth 1048 Spider-Man fighting Tarantula, wipes him up with Web Bomb. Superior Spider-Man shows up through a portal. Yeah. They fight.
You've basically said everything so far, like in list of what I have in my notes.
They team up and go after Tarantula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with the curly cues on his face,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The curly Q mustache.
I do very much like the art in this. I asked Peachy earlier if it was at all comparable to the art in the game, which it's not, because the art in the game is much more realistic, but
Definitely.
I did very much enjoy this art.
There's a weird texture to it that kind of sets it aside from a lot of the other verses we've seen recently, and I dig the coloring, and I can't dig the art style. I really love Superior Spider-Man in this one. I actually kind of dig his character a lot.
For sure, because you can see that he's learned, you know, and he's able to, like, pace himself with what he's doing before going off the deep end about something, you know, and then he's even making the jokes about there's gotta be an Earth somewhere where there, you know, Spider-Man isn't a wisecracking idiot, you know, or somewhere where there's a mute Spider-Man, you know, whatever, which is cool. So, I mean, a lot of cool development that they've shown in that character in just this small amount in this story.
For sure.
I also like the connection of the actual title of this part, which was New Players, because it's a video game.
Yes, I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Video games.
Cool.
Yeah. But so eventually they team up to take down Tarantula. Otto explains to him what's going on. We need spiders, you know, blah blah blah, and
the reveal of himself that he is, you know, Otto in Peter's body,
right?
And he goes, "Whoa, like holy, please," you know.
Yeah.
Big reveal. I like that one, and
he's like, I can see a lot of my Otto in you as well, and if he had gone basically crazy, this is where he could have ended up, and I thought that was really cool. Spoilers for the actual game if you haven't played it yet.
But yeah, no, they really bonded, and it was really cool to see them do that through this story, and it was super short, super quick, but it was like a lot of meaningful dialogue between them, which was super cool. And
was it all reminiscent of Spider-Man 2? Which, I as much as I detest the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, I really dug the second one because I liked Ock.
Oh, I was talking about the book. But, no, the game, I mean, a little bit because he's his mentor in the video game series.
Nice.
Story.
Mm.
But, no, I really liked how in this book, though, that the dialogue was super meaningful. And that they did bond really well together in the short amount of time that they had. I liked also that Otto, he's like, I'm not demanding that you go, I'm requesting, and don't get me wrong, I'm gonna help you catch Tarantula.
Right. Take care of this problem before I put more problems on your plate.
Yeah. I like that he gets caught in his own villain trope type things, like the Dias cast, you know, like, oh. And of course Spider-Man from this Earth goes, oh, well, we're gonna fight then. And he's like, no, get me wrong, you misunderstood. And he's like, I will help you. Help you, let's go defeat this guy. And he's like, oh, whoa. But it's that's the octopus, like, he's not able to fully shudder that.
He doesn't know how to talk like a hero. He knows how to talk like a villain, basically.
And he's kind of like, it's just right to the point.
For sure. And then Peter being super skeptical, you know, freaking because of his own Doc Ock experience or whatever. So that definitely helped win him over.
It was really cute.
Podcat being adorable over here. But it really won him over that he did go with him to go after Tarantula, and he actually figured out the whole logistics of the suit through his own spider bots, and that's another thing that they had in common. That Peter was like, "Oh, you've got spider bots? I've got spider bots."
But yours are much more advanced than mine. Much
So
more.
cool.
Geeked out over that.
Yeah.
And I like that. He still played with the, oh my god, like, and I think that's where he kind of like got the amusement where Doc Ock was like, you're a younger version. Well, he's talking about, Ock is talking about how he knows how robotics and interfacing with human, so that they can communicate. So he's an expert on that. So he, of course, sends his bots to take out Tarantula's interface, which is kind of like a pseudo Doc Ock back piece or spider piece, which Spider-Man makes a mention of, like, oh, you've got those too, which I should fight you for that, before they became chums.
Right.
And the whole time he's just like, would you ever shut up? Do you ever, like, stop?
Yeah, they kind of bickered a bit back and forth like an old couple, but I did like how Otto at one point, he says, you guys are all the same, you're young and impulsive and brash and blah blah blah, but you're also incredibly brave. And like,
that is Spider-Man.
Yes. Yes.
It's cool. That's the thing I love about this. My affinity for the villain redeemed type situation and the villain turn hero. I dig it, and he doesn't go full on villain. And we didn't mention this in the Amazing Spider-Man, but there is the mention of like, we're like, oh, he's a super villain. Well, like, yeah, there's like half the Avengers are former super villains, so they can reform. So there was that discussion of reform, and this one is the Doc Ock from Earth 616 has reformed in the form of Superior Spider-Man. It took Spider-Man showing him that, and I'm like, and Spider-Geddon really, or not Spider-Geddon, Spider-Verse really pushed that on that.
Yeah.
And you kind of see his growth through that, and then also his love through Superior Spider-Man. He falls in love with somebody.
Yeah, so they take down Tarantula, and then Peter starts to talk to Otto about his
doppelganger, basically.
Yeah, and how he was his mentor and everything. Yeah. And he's like, well, can I, like, see, where is he? Like, I want to meet him.
Right.
And, he's on, what is it? The raft?
The raft. Which is just an offshoot off of the bridge in the game. But in the movies, it's like remote location, and in the books, it's just all over the place. But in this universe,
it's like right there.
It's just right there. You can see it across the water. Yeah.
There be super villains there.
Yeah, but Doc Ock is locked up, and no visitors or anything, and Pete shows him a picture of how he was before he got locked up and how he is not in good shape.
Mm-hmm. And he's lost control of his faculties, basically.
Yeah. And they go to leave, and he's like, okay, whatever, it's fine.
It's like, this is just a warning.
Yeah, like, it won't happen again. Yeah. And then we see a little panel with a spider bot left over that's one of Otto's, and then we move on to...
I didn't make that connection that he's leaving him to watch over himself.
Yeah.
I didn't even... Blah.
I think he might want to have some way of trying to help him. I think Ock doesn't like seeing that he has stuck in that realm. He doesn't want to see that. I think he wants to see that he's reformed, and he's like, well, if I do, my other counterparts, my other me's have the same kind of capabilities. And I'm like, that's freaking cool. As much as I don't really dislike him, I don't know him, but I like the next panel, and he's kind of like, well, before we go, I got something important to do.
Yeah, and he goes to say goodbye to Miles. And is like, take care of the city while I'm gone.
For sure.
Yeah, he's young.
Doc Ock tries to convince him to bring him along because they could really use all the spiders they could get, but like you said.
He's not ready.
Yeah, he's young.
It's kind of sorry.
You're fine. And if he never comes back, then there has to be a Spider-Man in the city, so it might as well be him.
I also kind of took it as I don't know how it is in the game, but I kind of almost took it from like the Avengers cinematic movie of Avengers 3, where he's kind of the Tony Stark to Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Tony Stark to Peter Parker.
It's a lot like that. Yeah.
And I don't think that he's like the mentor. Like, he's not ready.
Right.
You know, that's not for him. That's not his war. He's ready for what he can do here.
Right.
And I'm like, that's cool.
And then he's all speaking of maybe never coming back.
There's someone else I have to see.
One last person I gotta see.
And of course,
it's Mary Jane. Well, in this universe, and spoilers, guys, but I apologize. In this universe, Aunt May dies. Aunt May dies in the video game.
Nice.
Yeah. And
not nice.
That's not nice.
So Ben had already been dead. It was basically the same, but there was some disease that swept the. It was.
You didn't tell me these things.
Yeah, I think it was Negative Man that was spreading this disease all over the city, and she got it, and he didn't get the cure there in time. He got it there in time, but he had the option to use it all on her, or use the sample to create more to save everybody. And of course, he had to make the difficult choice.
Did he reveal himself Flash style to her?
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah, I think I think that happened. I think she always knew.
She always knows.
Yeah, she always knew pretty much, I think. But it was pretty sad. At first time that I had a video game, I was like, my jaw dropped, and I almost shed a tear.
Almost.
Oh, Final Fantasy VII tore me apart.
Oh, yeah.
I've also cried at video games.
Halo got me at points.
At Undertale, man.
Halo Reach.
Oh, Reach, yeah.
Oh my
that
God.
destroyed everyone's lives.
Yeah.
It
was a good game.
Reach. Oh my God.
Anyways, not video games, comic books.
This is a video game comic book world. We're kind of torn here. I like this conversation. Doc kind of like is equating that Peter has a significant role, and the people in his life.
Still talking, yeah. Mary Jane.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. The fact that he had to go and have that goodbye with Mary Jane. He's like, your relationship to Miss Watson is replicated on many worlds.
It's a source of power.
Source of power and pain for both. And he's like, it's a source of strength for both of you on most. Saying that theirs are the ones where they're not so great, but I like that because he's like, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's cool to see Doc Ock
observe this and be able to relate it and feel the compassion in that thing and understand it, even though he doesn't or may never have or find with Aunt May, whatever, or the assistant or whatever.
Yeah,
but
Peter says next is like, have you ever had something like that before?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have time for that.
The thing is I think he's still of the hurt because of Cho. Was it Cho?
I can't remember. Maria.
He was in love with her.
Little person.
Well, and she was Peter Parker's assistant while he was the Superior Spider-Man. And they started dating while he was Peter Parker.
But he had revealed everything to her at a certain
right.
point. It's during the thing he reveals everything. Because he did a lot to try to improve Peter Parker's existence because he was Peter at that point. Got his degree, which we discussed about which ended up being a detriment, because of the whole collapse. What's happening in Amazing Spider-Man now.
Yeah.
Listen to our podcast.
Like you're not already.
But yeah, I like that he did do. I have to say this about the Spider-Man there's a lot of villain developments going on.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that's a lot of push and a lot of genres going on right now. Is we're seeing a push. Thanos has a more in-depth background. We're seeing Joker more in-depth background. I'm jumping universes, but yeah, we're seeing like villains being showcased, Lex Luthor and all these other things being.